Here is my audience. Well, to start, I want to thank you all very much for coming out here and taking your time to listen to me. My name is Grant Curley, and I'm here today to tell you about a country, and hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll want to take a trip there and see it for yourself. But before I tell you what country it is, I want to start off with a few little teaser fun facts. Maybe you might be able to guess what country I'm talking about. I did some research and found these facts in the article Mexico from the 2015 Culturegrams Online edition published by ProQuest. This country's citizens drink more Coca-Cola than any other country in the world. This country houses the 10th largest city in the world. This city also happens to be the capital of that country. Lastly, from the same article, the two main sports that draw the most spectators each year are football and bullfighting. Well, if you haven't gotten it by now, I'm sorry, but the country is Mexico. Mexico is a country that I've been to many times and I love, so hopefully I can share that with y'all, and y'all love it just as much as me one day too. So today I plan to discuss the geography of Mexico, the culture and the people of Mexico, and finally traveling to Mexico. So hopefully you learned something. So to start with the geography, Mexico is wedged in between the United States on the north and Belize and Guatemala on the south. Mexico is surrounded by three different bodies of water, with the Pacific on the west, the Caribbean, and the Gulf of Mexico on the east side. With all these bodies of water comes lots of beaches, lots of beautiful beaches from Cabo San Lucas all the way to Cancun on the other side. And I wanted to learn a little more about the terrain and the climate in Mexico, so I consulted the 2013 and 2014 World Factbook managed by the Central Intelligence Agency to learn more about Mexico. And I found an article titled Mexico and learned that the climate varies all the way from tropical to desert, and that 2/3 of Mexico is actually covered in mountains, which you don't think about when you think of Mexico, you think about the beaches. So I think that's kind of funny. So now that I've hopefully painted this beautiful picture of your mind of what Mexico looks like, let me tell you a little bit about the people and the culture there. So I went back to the World Factbook. And learned that the majority of people speak Spanish and that 93% of the citizens practice Catholicism. But don't let the fact that most of them speak Spanish worry you about traveling there, because most of them can speak enough English to where you can communicate and get by and get what you need done. Mexican dishes over there usually are very spicy and include peppers, beans, rice, and corn as their staples. And then I wanted to learn more about the culture and the values that Mexicans hold. So I researched more in the Culturegrams Online edition, and I learned that Mexicans value friendship, humor, and hard work. And I saw this firsthand when I went there, when I was in Mexico, and my family got a flat tire. We didn't have the correct tools to fix it, but a bunch of locals showed up with the things we needed to fix it, and they were all good-hearted about it and very nice and got it done for us. So from my experience, I've always had super nice people in Mexico. But a lot of times you hear that Mexico is a very dangerous place and you don't want to go there because you might be kidnapped. But there are certain places in Mexico where that could happen. But any tourist destination or any beach destination that is where most tourists go, you should be safe and have no problem. So don't let that keep you from going to Mexico. So now that you have this beautiful picture in your mind of what Mexico looks like, the culture of Mexico, I'm going to tell you a little bit about traveling to Mexico. Traveling to Mexico couldn't be any easier with it being the closest country to us here in Texas. Some people can drive. Most people don't want to drive because flying is much easier, more desirable. It's quicker, but you do need a passport to get into Mexico, like any other country. And there's no problem if you fly in because taxis are everywhere. Taxi drivers on every street corner, and they can take you anywhere for very cheap. And if you want to travel to Mexico, you don't have to spend tons of money. It can be a very cheap trip, and you can spend as little as you want, or you can spend as much as you want to have a great time and see the beautiful features Mexico has to offer. So now you know all about Mexico. I want to quickly remind you of why you want to take a vacation there. The gorgeous beaches and the mountainous terrain is quite a sight to see. The culture is great. We get to experience some of that here in Texas, but we don't fully experience the complete Mexican culture until you go see it yourself in Mexico. And finally, traveling to Mexico is very easy, it's quick and cheap. So I want to encourage y'all, next time you're planning a vacation, to consider going to Mexico and see it for yourself. Thank you so much for listening, your time and attention. Y'all have a great night.